Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir, Episode 3, Timebreaker, Recap, Spoilers. So, we start off, with Marinette's parents, Tom and Sabine. Beautiful names. Well, except for Tom. Tom is kind of a generic name, but, Sabine is a really pretty name. Anyway, it's Marinette's parents' 20th wedding anniversary. So they're both asking Marinette how they look for their date, where they're going to just a fancy restaurant. And then they're like, Marinette, you look after the bakery and get this one specific lady her order. And she's like, yeah, I can definitely get that one specific lady her order. But then And then she just goes upstairs and does homework while her parents go on their date. And then Alia calls her. And Alia's like, hey, did you forget about this bet that Alex and Kim have? Alex and Kim are classmates of Marinette, who I do not believe have been introduced at this point. So, yeah. So, there was a bet between these two characters, Alex and Kim, of, Kim thinks he can beat Alex in a race with Alex wearing rollerblades and him just on his feet, which is not, like, wow. This, first of all, Kim is a really stupid, dumb character because of all the things he goes through later in the show. I will have more opinions on that as we get further into this series, but, yeah. Kim thinks he can beat Alex in this race, so we go to the race. Well, no, we don't go to the race yet. So first, Alex is having lunch with her dad because it's her birthday. Sorry. And then he gifts her a watch. And he's like, it's a family heirloom, and she's like, wow, this is so cool, I'm gonna keep it. And then we go to the race. And everybody's there. Alia is filming. Marinette is holding a banner with someone else, and like Adrian's there, and Chloe is there, and all the people are there. So, and then Alex is like, so they're about to start the race, right? And then Alex is like, wait, I don't want to break my watch while I'm racing. Could someone else hold it for me, please? And then she hands it to Alia, who is like, I have to film a video. How am I supposed to hold it? Which none of these people. Okay, well, let me continue. So Alia's like, I can't hold it. I have to hold my phone and record this. And then she hands it to Marinette. And Marinette's like, I can't hold it. I have to hold the banner with both hands. And so she drops it because she's trying to hold the banner. And Adrian catches it, and he's like, I'll hold it, because I'm not doing anything like that. And then Chloe's like, oh my gosh, what's that you got in your hand, Adrian? Let me see. And and Adrian is trying to keep it from Chloe. Adrian's like, no, it's not yours, it's Alex's. And in trying to keep it from Chloe, he ends up dropping it directly in the path of Alex's rollerblades as she crosses the finish line. None of these people thought to just put the watch in their pocket. Like, what the hell? All of these people are wearing pants with pockets. I could maybe see that maybe, like, freaking Marinette is wearing a purse. She could have put it in her freaking purse. Anyway, to continue. So Marinette walks after Alex and is like, hey, we can fix it, or there's gotta be something we can do. And Alex is like, not unless we can go back in time. And that's really interesting because we cut to the main villain, Hawkmoth. And he's like, so angry, so sad. And at the same time we're cutting to the main villain, Marinette's picking up a phone call from her dad saying that the lady who she was supposed to give the cake to is waiting outside the bakery. Marinette's like, whoopsie daisy. So anyway, gosh, I don't know if I'm gonna get through this whole episode. This is not one of my favorite episodes, guys. I think this is probably my least favorite episode. But yeah, Marinette. Hawkmoth turns Alex into Timebreaker, who has the ability to go back in time by touching people and making them disappear. And then that gives Timebreaker energy, and then they go back in time. So then, they fight and they fight and they fight and blah blah blah, and Timebreaker touches like pretty much everybody, and then Hawkmoth's like, get their Miraculouses, and Timebreaker goes to touch Ladybug, but we have the first instance in the entire show, the first instance of Cat Noir dramatically sacrificing himself to save Ladybug. The first instance. There are a lot of those. But and then Ladybug is like super upset, and she's like, and she like attaches herself to Timebreaker and goes back in time with the energy she got from Cat Noir. And we end up going back in time to before the watch breaks, but I don't remember what happens, but somehow the watch still breaks, and it breaks differently this time. So now we have two Alexes, and the Alex from now we have two Alexes and two Ladybugs. So Alex gets akumatized again, and now there's two Timebreakers. And Marinette, who has not transformed into Ladybug yet, because yeah, comes up to future Ladybug and is like, who are you? And Ladybug's like, I'm you. And like, it's a whole thing. And then Ladybug is like, you gotta go get the cake, and I'll take care of this. And so Marinette goes and takes care of the cake, and then they fight and they fight. Oh, by the way, Cat Noir's alive again because they went back in time. So and then there's two Ladybugs, and yeah, after dealing with the cake, Marinette goes back to the scene of the fight, and now there's two Ladybugs, and Cat Noir says he's in heaven. And then what happens? Oh yeah, and then they eventually they both get different lucky charms, and they end up using them together to defeat both Timebreakers. And then they capture the Akuma, and then they magic butterfly everything. Everyone returns to their normal selves. This video isn't going to be 10 minutes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and then what happens next? I forgot what happens next, honestly. Oh yeah, so they magic butterfly everything. The watch gets fixed. Alex is super happy that her watch is fixed. And then Marinette goes back to the home, and her parents are like, next time don't keep customers waiting. And she's like, yeah, I got you. And then the episode's over. So something, goodbye.